Yo, what's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning. What is going on? A little bit of an earlier than normal stream today, eh? Figured, hey, I'm up. Let's do it, guys. Check out JASMY on the weekly time frame. As we zoom out here, where there's not really much room left inside this falling wedge pattern on the weekly for JASMY. It's going to have to break out soon. And this breakout's going to be big, in my opinion, guys. So we could be a matter of days, possibly a matter of just a couple of weeks away at this point from the alts starting to kick off. Let's go back over to the daily time frame. Have a little looky-loo. So now, as you know, guys, I told you guys yesterday, and I'm going to play a clip for you guys as we go along here, just showing what I said would happen yesterday happened this morning, right? So as you can see, we have our red candle. We rejected pretty close to the 30-day SMA, which we projected on over here, over here, over here, over here. So we got to get above there for a daily close anyways. But we're pulled back here mostly because of Bitcoin. So if we go over to the Bitcoin chart, we'll have a look at what happened. I'm going to show you here. So this is the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, right? So we closed our weekly candle above resistance, which is very bullish, above 69K. And we have pulled back a little bit. Now I'm going to play a clip for you guys from yesterday's live stream, okay? Outlining exactly what I think is going to happen. Now look at the chart the way that it is. Now watch the chart from the stream yesterday. See where we were? We closed above resistance at 69K. So watch this. Check this out, guys. I told you this was going to happen yesterday. What do you think? I got the BTC weekly close right now going on the screen. Like we were talking about off camera there, we got our weekly close above resistance, which is what I was talking about earlier. So we got the close we wanted on the weekly time frame, even though I'm on the daily right now. We go over to the weekly. Look at that.
The weekly looks nice, man.
Yeah, man. Look at this. We broke it out of this. If I really zoom out, I mean, in all honesty, man, like this, I've been running this as kind of like a, descending channel. But at the end of the day, it kind of looks like a freaking bull flag when you zoom out, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you have what? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I mean, yeah, you got 4 touch points on either side. You know, anything over 3 is pretty reliable. It looks kind of like a textbook bull flag, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So I mean, breakout on that. You know, let's. I mean, where do you want to start from? Shit, we could start all the way down.
Oh man,
there.
Yeah, it'd be a hell of a run.
If I go from the bottom of this to the top, right, and then if we do that, where is that going to put us?
It's right around 110, right? 95,
yeah, 98,000.
Yeah,
right around 98, almost $99,000 if we break out of this as a bull flag,
right?
And which is exactly what we're doing right now. Like we broke out. I'm trying to clean it up a little bit, get rid of some of this. We broke out of here. I mean, that's one. Look at that weekly candle, man. Look at that weekly candle right here. Fantastic, man. Fantastic. I think that because we did that, because we got this close, for me personally, it kind of it raises the floor. Because for me, the floor was like bottom floor was going to be somewhere around that 60 to 62K. Was where my floor got raised to, and anything below 59 obviously would have been bearish at that point, right? But I figured a retest possibly of 62 to 64, or 64 to 65 is what I meant. Testing down there to set in a higher low like we were talking about, but seems to me like that's kind of out the window now too. So to me, that kind of raises the floor a little bit from about 60 to 62 to, I think the floor is going to be somewhere around that 63, 64 now.
Where are we at right now? What's the exact amount the Bitcoin's trading at?
$69,082.
That's nice. It's settling right around the 69 mark, even an hour after the weekly close.
Yeah. And for me, like we talked about as well, we're right at the last bull run's all-time high, so we are going to see strong resistance here.
Sure.
Right? There's going to be a lot of selling pressure, but that's fine. If we can, I mean, we may wick down here on the weekly, but if we close this weekly candle above 68.8 again, 68.9, then we continue bullish. So if people see us pull back down a little bit on the weekly time frame, it's the weekly close that matters, guys, not the wicks down, right?
Yep.
So as you just saw, guys, like I said yesterday when we were up, right? I said that we were likely going to come down here, but what matters on the weekly time frame is where this candle closes, not where we come down to, right? I literally said yesterday we were going to come down here, and here we are, right? So I did tell you guys that it was coming yesterday, right? But what we have to pay attention to, this is a new fresh red weekly candle. We're going to have to pay attention to where the candle closes next Sunday. That's what matters. So don't be surprised if we spend a couple of days down below 69K before coming back up above it again, right? Don't be shocked if that happens. So we knew this was coming yesterday, guys, right? And we prepared accordingly. Just so you guys know, I will get into the chat, guys, as soon as I'm done with the news. I try to get through the news first now, but I will jump right ahead to super chats when they pop in. Batari, what's up, brother? It's been a minute, man. Good to see you, brother. You're a proud member of the Patreon. Nice. Thank you for supporting, guys. Thank you so much, brother, for jumping over. Just so that you know, I will be doing a live group video call over on the Patreon as roughly 10-15 minutes after I'm done this live stream. So I usually jump over there for a live conversation after live streams here. So if you want to tune in for that, brother, make sure that you're there. So awesome, man. Thanks for jumping over there. And I will get to the rest of the comments after we get through the news, guys. So I'm not ignoring you. All right, so let's get into it here. Let's go have a look at the bubbles. All right, so yes, a little bit red. Bitcoin down at 66.8 now. For me, guys, this is a major opportunity. I'm scooping some stuff up, but most of the altcoins are holding decent support, though. Onyx Coin is holding 201276 pretty good. It's holding pretty strong. Most alts are. Some are down a little more. I mean, you got mobile down 5.5%. Aerodrome's taking a hit, but this is a good opportunity, guys. And listen, I know that you hear this often, but you're only going to have so many pullbacks and so many opportunities to scoop up at these prices before you're not going to see them anymore, right? I mean, Turbo's back below a penny. I think I'm going to start stocking up on some Turbo, to be honest with you, because people keep asking me, like, can Turbo get to 10 cents? Yes, of course. In a blow off top in an altcoin season, Turbo, let's round Turbo up to 1 cent right now, okay? It's only a 10x for Turbo. 100% Turbo can do that. Turbo can get to 10 cents. So yes, I do think so. So scooping some Turbo up at this price point, not a terrible idea. Obviously not financial advice, but not a terrible idea. Turbo will still do very, very well, in my opinion. So there's some good opportunities, guys. Sui, almost even at 2 cents. So yeah, some good opportunity, guys. All right. Let's get into some of the news. We got some videos to get through. Let's see what's going on. So talking first about Elon Musk said this weekend, he's talking about unrealized capital gains tax. So let's listen in because it's relevant. A lot of you guys, especially in the States, continue to ask me about taxes, right? And unrealized gains tax, right? So let's listen up to what they have to say here. And also, guys, just so you know, another conversation that we have on a going basis on our video group calls on the Patreon is discussing tax implications and how to go about them, right? So jump over to the Patreon and join that conversation.
Hey, Mark, I'm looking at an NBC article from our corporate parent that just says, I guess at an Arizona town hall meeting, when you were asked about the possibility of taxing unrealized capital gains, you said if you really thought that the vice president would do that you'd campaign against her. So I guess that was a true comment you made. And then my follow-up
so what
question,
I said was, I said it's not going to happen, absolutely not going to happen. If for some reason she lied about it, I would campaign against her so there wouldn't be a second term. Okay. Then what I was going to ask you is, and I'm not going to go through, these are like, there's like 20 things, but I'll just pick out a couple that I think would be really scary. If she were to try to abolish the filibuster, if you knew she was going to do... Yeah, I don't agree with that. Next. And then how about free health care for all? She doesn't talk about that. So here's exactly what she's talking about with health care. But there were some things she has said. I can pick out probably 10 things where Joe, I can go back to an interview. You would say, yeah, I'd campaign against her. So what do you like if all these other things first, Joe, would cause you to... Okay. I saw an interview with you with Donald Trump where he said he would tax the oil industry out of existence. You know, does he still support that? Doesn't feel like people change their mind. That, but yeah. Oh no, I'll send it to you if you want. But in any event, let's talk about healthcare. Particularly when I was in Phoenix, I was talking about the difference between Harris and Trump for small businesses. And I can go down through the list of things I love about her. First of all, 99.5% of businesses are small businesses. They're pass-through businesses. And she's been very, very clear that anybody making $400K or less, which is almost every pass-through business, their taxes are either going to stay the same or go down. And so that's one area where she has an advantage there. We don't have clarity from Trump. Number two is healthcare, right? She has been very, very specific that the PBMs, the pharmacy middlemen are jacking up prices and having a negative impact on the cost of healthcare. And she's going to do something about it. And that's a conversation I've had directly with her. I know the impact it could have. It can turn into an immediate 20 to 30% savings for small businesses and for their employees, particularly with the ones with high deductible plans. That's more than an offset for inflation, for households and for small businesses, because the reality is the big pharmacy benefit managers aren't passing through the rebates on brands, are using specialty generics to jack up the price of generic medications. So all pricing for healthcare is distorted for small business. She has come out and talked about it. Donald Trump hasn't said a word. Yeah. Number three, we've all talked about immigration. Both have said that. So
I don't want to get into immigration, but so Kamala says she's not going to tax unrealized gains, right? Of course, I don't think this is a subject that a lot of people are worried about. Unrealized capital gains tax, right? The reason that doesn't matter who's in office is not going to try to do that is because it affects big money in America, okay? It affects the incumbents. It affects the BlackRocks, all of the big hedge funds, all of the major investors, all the billionaires in the United States. You think they want to pay unrealized capital gains tax? You think they're going to financially allow any sitting president to tax them on unrealized gains, capital gains? Of course not. And they will always back money. So that's not something that I personally really worry about that much, because the money is what rules the world, right? So let's be honest. All right, what do we got? U.S. government has a lot of money to print and financial assets are going to soar. Bitcoin goes up the most because it's the hardest to make. It's the hardest to make of more. Yes.
So what do you see? What's the future, the near term and the longer term future that you envision for Bitcoin?
Oh my gosh. This thing's going to hundreds of thousands of dollars per coin, Charles. I mean, the US government is in so much debt. The way I think about Bitcoin's price equals technology plus fiat liquidity. So it's going to go up because it's innovative tech and it's better money. But what really shoots it up at a neck-breaking pace is when our government is tens of trillions of dollars in debt and has to roll that debt over. So they got a lot of money to print and financial assets are going to soar. And Bitcoin goes up the most because it's the hardest to make more of. It's over, man. This thing's going to the moon.
You know, it's so interesting, too, because it's not just the U.S. I was just reading today, globally, these countries, these advanced nations and all this fiat currency are going to have to spend $2 trillion on the interest alone, and they won't stop spending, Jack. They just won't stop spending money, and it's coming back to haunt them, and it's coming back to maybe people realizing fiat currency is not the place to be, huh?
Charles, this would be my message to America. Give me a second on this one. Guys, the U.S. government's got about $10 trillion over the next 2 years to roll over, refinance. That's debt. Our country's in debt. It's a huge problem. They got 3 options. 1, they could pay it back. It's not a real option because we don't got the money. We're broke. 2, our government could come out, Charles, and say, you know what, guys, we screwed up. After World War II, we changed the way money worked. We got off the gold standard. We issued debt all over the place. We got way too cocky. And actually, all of our banks don't have your money. They're insolvent. All the airlines you fly and travel on aren't actually good businesses that should be in business. Healthcare shouldn't actually be free. We screwed up. We piled on so much debt and screwed up the younger generation, right. And we're in huge trouble. So we're going to have to let everything fail and reset this country. Now, they're not going to do that, are they, Charles? They have third option, which is unique to the government. They could print the money that they're missing. And when they print the money that they're missing, they're stealing from all the people that hold US dollars. And so what they'll do, they'll have to do is print dollars. And the only way to save yourself is own not dollars. And that's when you see things like the S&P 500 and gold and Bitcoin soar. And so that's what's going to happen over the next 2 years. They got to print 3 times more than they did during COVID.
I love your enthusiasm, Jack. We're going to bring you back. We really do love your enthusiasm and your message. Thanks a lot for sharing it with us. Thanks a lot. Cheers, honey. All right, buddy.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong, guys. That's the thing of it, right? We got some Swift news to get through here. What do we got? So Swift says TRX staking on the all-chain bridge, guys. You can now stake your TRX and earn up to 15% APY. Not a plug, guys. I'm not sponsored by Swift. I just love the project. And I like to open your guys' eyes to things, to opportunities like staking, which is yet another thing that we discuss a lot over on the Patreon. We spend a lot of time looking at Onyx Coin's protocol and their 42% APR. Elon Musk talking XRP. This guy's a legend.
Given how punitive the SEC has been towards crypto under this administration, do you envision the XRP ledger being incorporated into the financial institutions in the future?
Well, I certainly cannot speak to any specific crypto, but you know, I do think that the sort of cryptocurrency is an interesting and probably valuable bulwark against a centralized control. So you know, this is definitely not an endorsement or lack of endorsement for XRP, but I do think crypto, by its very nature, it helps with individual freedom.
That's pretty cool that the guy got Elon Musk to say XRP. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. A lot of people smirking out there. I mean, it doesn't mean anything massive or anything. He said it's not an endorsement, but it's not a lack of endorsement either. It's just funny that the guy got Elon Musk to say XRP, because so many different communities out there try to get Elon Musk to mention their project, right? So it's just a funny thing. It's a fun little thing, guys. Don't read too much into it, but you know. Cointelegraph says Chinese banks are cut lending rates to boost growth. Will Bitcoin be chosen as a safe haven amid rising economic uncertainty? Slowly, then all at once, baby. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, here is a very, very bad attitude to have, guys. Look at this. You see this in every community. You see bad apples like this who can't control themselves emotionally and mentally, right? He says 70K Bitcoin, 5-cent HBAR. Everyone who believed in HBAR and bought during the bear market has been screwed. HBAR would be at 20 cents now if they hadn't systematically scammed us investors with market manipulation and insider trading. So this guy feels like because he bought HBAR and it hasn't run yet to 20 cents that he's being scammed. He's being scammed. Well, I got a little bit of news for you, because listen, I was holding HBAR. I bought HBAR at about 3 cents in the bear market. HBAR ran up to 19 cents, and then I sold it and rolled my profits into, I think, Swift or something like that. So HBAR was at almost 20 cents, right? This is someone who cannot control themselves emotionally or mentally and should probably not be investing in crypto, right? If this is the way that you think, you have been completely overwhelmed and overcome by your own emotions and your lack of patience, and you have to step back, guys. This is a lesson in crypto. If you want to succeed in crypto, you have to be able to step back from this kind of attitude, right? You have to get your emotions completely out of it, and this lack of patience that some people has, it perturbs me. I don't understand it, right? If their coin doesn't pump when they want it to, they feel that there's some sort of conspiracy to screw them, right? Like, this is someone who came into the market expecting to get rich quick. That's what this is, right? Professional investing, guys, is researching your projects, knowing the team, knowing the project, knowing the utility, right? And then it's also, over time, investing in that project and allowing time for that investment to mature. That's what professional investing is all about, right? It's not about, oh, I got to get rich quick. I got to, HBAR is going to make me rich quick, or else I'm going to pull a temper tantrum. Got to step away from that kind of thing, guys. Save yourself the money and the emotional heartache by taking your emotions out of it. Go to the gym. Put your phone down and go to the gym. Take your frustrations out that way. You know what I'm saying? What else do we got? Bitcoin surged towards 70K. So this is what happened, guys. We wiped out $135 million in liquidation shorts, got wrecked, losing $95 million as the bears misjudged the rally. So now what's happening is we're seeing the longs. So we saw this last week, guys. We saw Bitcoin spike up, or was it the opposite? It spiked down and liquidated all the longs, and then when it spiked down, then it liquidated all the shorts and spiked back up. We're seeing something very similar happening. I get the hiccups. Once again, we're seeing market manipulation to liquidate longs and shorts, right? So if you're wondering what's happening, that's what's happening right now, right? So yeah, I mean, Bitcoin has wicked down to 66,800, but now we're back up over 67. So, but I think, honestly, I think this candle is going to wick at least halfway back up again on the daily time frame before the day is over. So yeah. Oh, and then check this out, guys. Most profitable traders in Congress. Look at Nancy Pelosi. This year, Nancy Pelosi has made $24.1 million as a trader. Tell me she's not using insider information, right? Here, let me look at this. These are, and across Congress, look at this. Across Congress, they've made year-to-date profits of $133 million. If you or I did this, we'd be in jail for like 25 years, right? Why do we allow our leaders to do this kind of stuff? I don't understand. People just sit back and go, oh, what are you going to do? Set a higher standard is what you're going to do. This is unacceptable behavior. If you did this, you'd be in jail for life. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What else do we got? CEO of VanEck says he has over 30% of his portfolio in Bitcoin.
I mean, this crowd might not like this, but the way I look about Bitcoin is it's sort of like evolving and growing up, right? So maybe it's a teenager now. It's not fully formed because so many investor classes haven't really joined. I think the toughest allocation question I have, and I know a lot of individuals think about this as well, is why should I be selling Bitcoin? If I believe the super bull case, why am I constantly selling into this bull market? I mean, we just came out with research that talked about a price close to $3 million a coin in the scenario where it's adopted as a reserve asset globally. Now, that's very speculative, and that would be extreme adoption. But that's where professional investors like us in our day jobs say, oh no, you've got to do mean variance optimization, you can't hold too much. And everyone I meet at Bitcoin conferences owns way more in their own portfolio. And I always say, wait a minute, I always want to tell people what I'm doing personally because they should know, right?
Well, what are you doing personally?
I'm in like way over 30%.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
Way over 30%. awesome. Absolutely awesome. All right, what else do we got? Bitcoin soars as spot Bitcoin ETFs explode with 556 million in inflows. Institutional inflows for spot Bitcoin ETFs broke a new record as $556.71 million was added on October 14th, the largest volume to be realized in one day in more than 4 months. In the same vein, Bitcoin has also hit 68,995. It actually broke over 69,000 price level for the first time in more than 3 months. Speaking with sources, Nate Garcia, president of ETF Store, shared his sentiment about the unprecedented happenings. He stated, "Simply ridiculous and blows away every pre-launch demand estimate. This is not degen retail, in my opinion. It's advisors and institutional investors continuing to slowly adopt." These phenomenal inflows carry several important implications for the current Bitcoin ETF market that is breaking all records. One is the most significant forces is potentially around the U.S. election headlines still to come. Amidst this growing positivity, Chris Arlia, head of institution at Bybit, notes that as we edge closer to the U.S. election in November, investors may be more confident in placing their bets that we'll see a resumption of BTC's bull trend. Along with the potential backdrop, brighter macroeconomic circumstances have added to the sentiment. Recent economic data in the United States has given investors fewer concerns about the recession, said Alicia Cao, managing director at crypto exchange platform KuCoin. In addition, the continued decrease in interest rates by the Federal Reserve has favored investments based on digital assets. Improvements in regulatory clarity and global spot Bitcoin ETFs going live are supporting the rise in hedge funds participating in digital assets. Cao shared that 47% of traditional hedge funds now have exposure to digital assets compared to 37% in 2022. This number is expected to grow as institutions' confidence continues to rise. Despite significant retail interest, institutional investors have driven the latest wave of inflows into Bitcoin ETFs. Vilair CEO Mithel Thakur noted that it is institutional demand for Bitcoin which is leading this wave, pointing out Bitcoin inflows via ETFs are nearing 20 billion, a feat gold took over 4 years to achieve. Caslin of Valor made similar comments to Thakur regarding the perception around Bitcoin as a safe asset in low and high interest rate environments. Alike, Caslin further stated, institutional participation is crucial for Bitcoin to achieve new price highs and potentially surpass gold as a prominent asset class. Institutional firms held 21.15% of assets under management in Bitcoin ETFs as of June 30th, a slight increase when compared to Q1, as noted by Alicia Cao. The increase reflects evidence that professional investors are starting to regard Bitcoin as a legitimate asset class, but one still dominated by retail players. Spot Bitcoin ETFs have had a much better time compared to traditional asset classes such as gold, although this year, the net inflow of gold ETFs is limited to 1.4 billion. Bitcoin's ETFs have attracted more than 20 billion. And these numbers show what investors are concentrating on. According to Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchinian, as gold hits all-time highs 30 times in the year, its market outperformance continues to underwhelm that of Bitcoin. Chief Marketing Officer XAT Network, Tristan Dickinson, emphasized that Bitcoin is naturally different to other assets due to its success. Dickinson said Bitcoin ETFs have already become the most successful ETF in U.S. history, outpacing even traditional ETFs like those tied to gold. Further sweetening the deal for institutional investors is Bitcoin's established new status as an asset class in its own right and similar mechanics to gold. Arula continued, but critically, Bitcoin is just more technology advanced and lands on the better spot when it comes to fit in digital finance areas. Hence, being able to absorb this capital much faster than traditional assets. With increasing institutional buy-ins, spot Bitcoin ETFs will likely fight to remain the top dog in digital assets. The upcoming U.S. election, along with improving macro outlooks, may set the stage for Bitcoin to see further price action in a similar vein. Although there are still obstacles on the road full of regulatory uncertainties, the flows, whether driven by speculation or macro asset allocation, show some institutional investors now view digital assets as a valuable store of wealth alongside traditional commodities such as gold. Should this trend persist, Bitcoin's dominance in the ETF market may be an indication of a protracted sea change in investor sentiment towards digital assets more broadly, as Bitcoin spot ETFs outcompete some of the most entrenched asset classes, such as gold. So the election is going to play a very large part moving forward. But I think either way, Bitcoin's going to run. I don't think it's going to be adverse in any way. Even if Crashula Harris wins, I think we might see something like a 20% pullback, but then a rise. Nothing's stopping this train, guys. It's already left the station. Bitcoin has surged towards the $70,000 mark, reaching a high of approximately 69,450 early Monday morning in Asia before settling at 68,700. It's now down at 67,200 though. This upward trajectory comes as investors closely monitor the upcoming U.S. presidential election, now just 2 weeks away. Analysts suggest that the election is poised to impact the cryptocurrency market significantly. Min Jung, an analyst at Presto Research, noted that $70,000 level serves as a psychological resistance point, given its proximity to Bitcoin's all-time high of over 73,700 achieved in March of 2023. As the election approaches, the odds surrounding former President Donald Trump's potential victory appears to be influencing Bitcoin's price. Pump also voiced strong support for the crypto sector, which may resonate with investors. According to the prediction platform Polymarket, Pump leads the Vice President Crashula Harris by a margin of 21%, with a winning probability of around 60%. However, traditional polling aggregates such as 5038 show Crashula Harris narrowly ahead by 1.8%. Augustine Fan, head of insights at sofa.org, stated that Pump's victory, coupled with Republican sweep in Congress, could create favorable conditions to cryptocurrency regulations advocated by Pump and his allies. In addition to the election, another significant event looms on the horizon: the U.S. Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC meeting, which is anticipated to result in a 25 basis point interest rate cut. CME Group FedWatch tool currently predicts a 94.4% likelihood of this outcome. So another 25 basis point rate cut. David Laurent, head of research at FalconX, remarked that crypto has become a mainstream political issue, engaging in broader audience and increasing market focus as election day approaches. Big things coming, guys. We have an election coming up on like the 5th of November, followed by a rate cut on, I believe, the 6th or 7th of November. Big things popping, little things stopping. And finally, we have Michael Saylor explaining why Apple should buy Bitcoin.
If I was talking to Apple, I would say, don't buy back 100 billion of your stock. Buy 100 billion of Bitcoin. It will go to 500 billion. You'll have a $500 billion business growing 20% a year. You'll make 100 billion in investment gains a year. Your investors will look at it and they'll add $1 trillion or $2 trillion to your market cap. And now the company will be valued 60% based upon the operating business, 40% based on the balance sheet, right? And the risk will shift, because the risk in a conventional company is the balance sheet's worthless and the company's value based upon the P&L. And so if you make $1 billion a quarter, I basically value it at 20 P to E. So I take the quarterly result, I multiply by 80, and I say, oh, you're worth $80 billion because I took 1 billion and multiplied by 80, and the balance sheet's worthless. But the next quarter I say, well, my billion went to zero. Well, that's 80 times $1 billion change. You've got a massive whipsaw. That's why these companies' stocks crash. If the company had $40 billion of tangible assets on the balance sheet, and it was that puts a floor, right, on the equity. And really what you want is you want a well-balanced company where, it's like Harvard University or Yale. They're not valued based upon the earnings of this semester of freshmen entering Harvard. They're valued because they have 18 billion in the endowment, you know, and if they close the university, they're still rich. They have 18 billion in the endowment. So MicroStrategy is just pioneering, it's kind of common sense. Your family wouldn't give away all your money and just say, we're going to work harder. And a university wouldn't give away all its money and say, we're going to raise tuition, cram the classes, cut the teacher's salary, and work harder. But conventional wisdom in finance is your company ought to dividend out its capital. It ought to buy back its stock. It shouldn't actually hold any capital on the balance sheet. And it should just raise its prices and tell its employees to work harder and cut its cost. And that, in a nutshell, is why 99% of the companies in the world underperform the Magnificent Seven, and why they all could benefit by just adopting Bitcoin as their treasury reserve standard.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding, guys. The guy started buying Bitcoin in like 2020. MicroStrategy more accurately did. And their stock has literally outperformed everything, bar none, everything, right? It's only a matter of time before most companies that can afford to start doing the same thing, start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. That is just one more reason why the scarcity of Bitcoin is going to continue to increase on a very quick scale, guys. We're seeing MetaPlanet already adopting MicroStrategy's plan, and it's working, right? It's working, guys. That's the thing of it. So gotta pay attention, guys. Like, I'm stockpiling as much Bitcoin as I can through bear markets with my profits, man. All right, let's get into the chat, see what everybody's talking about. Bruno, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. As always, guys, make sure you're hitting the like and subscribe to the channel. Matari finally caught alive. Good day, brother. Good to see you, brother. It's good to see you. Once again, thank you for the super chat, my friend. And thank you for joining the Patreon. It's awesome to have you over there. Dumb Money's in the house. What's up, buddy? Green tea. Hey, Rob. My bags are packed and stuffed more for as long as I can. Thanks for the call on the Patreon. I used my profits to buy more XCN. Nice. Congratulations on that. Hey, Rob, what's your prediction for AWT in the bull run? I mean, I don't really have a prediction per se for AWT, but I mean, I think that project at the end of the day could, you know, I still think we could get about an 80x out of it, man. I still believe we can. I'm still holding it, right? I think that it's going to be a sleeper pick. Web3 gaming is going to do so much better than people think it is. It is massively undervalued right now, guys, massively. And when it starts to run, people are going to be like, what the hell? What happened? People are not buying it right now when it's, you know, no matter what it is, whether it's AWT or Miria or Lit Labs or Naka Games or Wagami, like whatever it is, right? Like, filling up, guys, because honestly, it's going to melt faces. Not financial advice. Strange Guy in the house. What's up, man? Jeremiah, what's going on, man? Let's get rich. Yeah, we're not broke. We're pre-rich, brother. Boomer's in the house. What's up, brother? Funky, what's happening, brother? 66K Bitcoin. Yeah, we're back up over 67 now, though. A little dip, John, what's up, man? I'm not worrying over my 500K Jasmy with my bags. Nice. That's how it's done, brother. That is how it's done. Danny's in the house. What's up, buddy? David, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. William, I knew I'd see you here, brother. Good to see you, bro. And Balaclava, man. Why is it going down? I told you guys last night it was going to go down. I go back to the beginning of this stream, brother, and watch the first part of the stream, and I literally replay a clip I did in yesterday's live stream telling you guys that this was going to happen today, right? I told you guys yesterday that this was going to happen. You should have been ready for it. Richie Rich, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Rod's in the house. What's up? Happy Monday. Studio Tech, everyone starts coming in as soon as we get to the end of the stream. It's good to see you guys, man. It's good to see you guys. All right, guys. So listen, I gotta get out of here. We got through the news. I will be jumping over to the Patreon to do a live chat over there pretty soon. So guys, get over to the Patreon. We have some very, very important crypto conversations over there, guys. So I'm gonna tell you right now, over on the Patreon today, I'm gonna be discussing when I think alts are gonna run, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what happened today and when we're gonna recover. So get over to the Patreon and join the conversation, guys. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.